Greetings and salutations. My name is OJ, and I haven't been replaced by AI or aliens yet, so it's still me, I'm pretty sure. And today, we're going to be talking about Yakuza 0's Director's Cut, the issues I have with it, specifically its cutscenes, and the implications it has for RGG as a studio going forward, because a lot of the stuff in these cutscenes really puts me off, and I don't like it whatsoever. Just for a point of reference, I am an enormous fan of the Yakuza series. I have played for every single game from Yakuza 0 all the way up to all the mainline games, from 0 up to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I also played Judgment and Lost Judgment. The only games I haven't played are, like Kenzan, Kuroyo, like the games that you can't easily access per se, right? And just for transparency's sake, all of the clips of the Yakuza 0 Director's Cut cutscenes comes from Gamers Prey, who I'm going to thank immensely for these, the cutscene footage, because I myself am not able to capture them, because first things first, this game is locked to the Nintendo Switch 2, a system that is 450 quid, and I don't really feel, I don't have the money to buy it, let alone, and I wouldn't want to buy it either way. I don't like the Switch 2. Hell, I could make a whole video about why I don't like the Switch 2. And let's not mention the fact that Yakuza 0's Director's Cut is £50. Almost triple the price of the original on Steam right now. If I remember rightly, it's 15 quid. I'll pop it up on screen if I'm telling the truth or not. So yeah, once again, thank you to Gamers Prey for capturing these cutscenes and such. And with that said, let us look at the first one, including the Toko credit guy. Right, so I should have mentioned this literally 2 seconds ago, but this video is going to contain spoilers for every single Yakuza game. So 0 all the way through 8, because, fun fact, 3 out of these 5 cutscenes include retconning of deaths. Isn't that awesome? In a series that's already kind of a bit, kind of doing too many retcon deaths. Isn't that great? Wow, I love that. Yeah, these cutscenes are not great. This one with the Toko credit guy is a utter nothing burger. But it does have, one redeeming quality. That's it. That's the one redeeming quality. Besides that, this cutscene is completely a nothing burger. Doesn't tell us anything we didn't really already know, and if anything, just makes the game worse, because it does nothing. It tells us, right, okay, Toko credit guy is a loan shark at the beginning of the game, set Kiryu up for a murder. Pretty bad dude. Turns out he was on Kuze's payroll. Then he almost lets that slip, so Kuze kills him. Off screen. Sure, no actually, because then his body shows up in the river stream, right? Okay. But it turns out, he's not dead, as you can see, very clearly in the cutscene right now. And he's partnered up with Shibusawa, a guy that we already knew had kind of like control over everything and stuff. This cutscene's so weird. It's 8 minutes long, right? That's a long cutscene. That's long. And it says nothing. Nothing new. Nothing interesting. Absolutely nothing. We find out that he's on Shibusawa's payroll, and wow, if he goes against him, he's gonna die. Shibusawa's got him on a leash. All that palaver. Stuff that we already know. We know that Shibusawa was kind of controlling a lot of things, right? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. Like, I have so little to say about this cutscene, and yet it feels like I should be saying so much more. And then they mention Peace Finance from Yakuza 1. Do you guys remember who Peace Finance is? I'm looking around. Anyone in the class hold their hands up if they remember who Peace Finance is. I don't. I didn't. I had to search it up. And then I searched it up and I found out, oh wow, it's like the first one of the first mini bosses in Yakuza 1, like these lot on screen right now. Okay! Why does the Toko credit guy need to be the secret owner of Peace Finance? What did Peace Finance ever do? Am I stupid? Do I not remember any? I searched it up. They didn't do nothing. They're just this little mini boss at the very beginning of the game. Kind of introduces us to Kiryu and his personality, I guess. A very unreformed or unrefined version of his personality before he got any like proper development. But what's the point in this cutscene? Looking around the room, no one knows. I don't know. It's incredibly long. Says nothing we don't already know, and the reveals it does give us don't do anything. This cutscene hurts the game because it is just pointless. Don't see a point in it whatsoever. And yeah. But with that, we can move on to the next cutscene, which is one of the most egregious cutscenes I've ever had the displeasure of watching. I despise this next cutscene with all of my being because it stands for some horrible stuff and it reinforces some really bad habits that RGG Studios has gotten themselves into. Right, so this cutscene begins with Majima being approached by a random fellow who just so happens to be a friend of Lee. Let's address the elephant in the room. Lee's not dead. Lee is not dead. They retconned his death 10 years later. When I said this was one of the worst cutscenes I've ever seen, like I don't think I actually said that just a second ago, but this is one of the worst cutscenes I've ever seen. This is bottom 3 for this franchise. This is terrible. I thought it was bad enough retconning Kashiwagi, who got lit up by a minigun, and Andre Richardson being suplexed off a building. But this is bad. This is really bad. Like, well, let's play his... Look, here's a flashback for the death of Lee, right? Explodes. Car explodes. You see? Right there. Car explodes, flings everyone back, breaks windows. It's on fire, too. It stays on fire as well during the subsequent rest of that cutscene. Think he lived that? No, of course not. How do you live that? How? How did you live that? How? I need to know. Who could have... Are there wizards in Yakuza now? Can we revive people? Like, did Ichiban's schizo turn-based RPG skills get integrated into just everyday life? Like, it's baffling. And if it wasn't bad enough, it actually retroactively makes Majima's conclusion at the end of the game worse. The reason, or one of the reasons, he lives his life the way he does, which is, you know, freely, as crazy as possible, because he knows, well, one of the reasons is that because he knows that at any moment he could die. Someone could take him out, he could be caught in an accident, anything, right? So he lives his life to the fullest, as much as he can, no matter what. That's where the Mad Dog persona, or one of the reasons the Mad Dog persona comes into play, right? That's at least how I see it. So by retroactively retconning Lee's death, you make that conclusion worse, because one of the people who inspired him to come to that conclusion is not dead. You know, he just lived the car exploding, you know. Oh look, wow, there he is. Whoa, it's Lee-san. Oh, he's all right. He's just all bandaged up. You know, look, red circle, arrows. Yeah, look, he's right there. How? How did he... Terrible. This series has a bad track record of retconning deaths, but not retconning the ones that would make sense. Ryuji, Yakuza 2, shot in the shoulder and the stomach, right? Kiryu got shot in the same places. Last I checked, Kiryu lived it. I don't understand how Ryuji died. Genuinely, could not tell you. But if that wasn't bad enough, you know, retconning Lee's death that inspired Majima to go down the way he does, we have this bit about Makoto's watch. And as if it wasn't bad enough, they retcon part of the ending of the game. and arguably one of the most emotional parts of the ending of the game. Throughout the game, Makoto mentions and has this little watch that plays a little tune, and it comforts her. Now, Majima here says he'll fix it. In the original, he never said that. He never said that. And at the end of the game, as I'm playing the cutscene right now, Makoto goes to the empty lot, the center of everything, center of the whole story, the reason she was being hunted down, all of that palaver, to commemorate her dead brother, as well as the people that helped her along the way, that being Kiryu, Sarah, and this mysterious guy that she doesn't even remember the name of. She knew it was Majima, obviously. She saw a blurry look at him, but Majima obviously helped her a ton, and she never got to know his name or thank him. And in this cutscene, as she's, praying and saying her farewells, you hear the chime of the watch that had comforted her at different points of the game, and a watch that broke. And Majima, obviously you didn't know that Majima fixed it, but hearing that watch play the chime again, and just the new Lee cutscene just ruins one of the most emotional parts of the ending of the game, because I'm gonna admit I cried at this cutscene because I thought it was absolutely lovely and really, really sweet that Majima, without saying a word, without us ever being directly told, fixed that watch for her because he knew it comforted her. It just goes to show that even though he's obviously moving on to this new life and being crazy and living life to his fullest, like he's gonna pass away at any moment, he still had he still did that. He still did that for her. It's probably one of the sweetest actions that he's ever done in this series. So to have this cutscene retroactively come in, retcon Lee's death in a series that already does too many retcon deaths, and it retcons this really lovely scene. And it retcons just the silent storytelling. It tells it to us explicitly like we're idiots. If they got rid of that bit where he said he'll fix the watch, this scene would stay the same and it would still stay amazing. But by adding that into the Lee cutscene, you've tarnished a part of this amazing scene. And that sucks. That really sucks. I'm sure you can tell this is really bothering me. I'm doing this unscripted once again. I think I'm getting better at these unscripted videos, besides my pauses and such. But ignoring that, this is awful. This cutscene's terrible. And it's indicative of a lot of the issues that I think have been popping up lately with RGG. Pirate Yakuza weren't that great story-wise. Had a tendency to kind of tell us things and instead of letting us figuring things out. And now with Director's Cut, that further reinforces that fact. Retcon deaths, add in explaining stuff that didn't need to be explained. We didn't need to be told that Majima fixed the watch, because the end of the game tells us that without explicitly saying it, and does it better. This cutscene sucks. And it is this cutscene alone deters me from ever being interested in buying this game. Not that I was going to buy Switch 2 to buy the game. This is terrible. I mean, it's still zero, don't get me wrong, but the new editions are awful. So awful, that's where I'm going to stop it. We're going to move on to the next cutscene, and thankfully, I'd say we're out of the woods now. We're out of the bad shit. We're going to get onto a cutscene that I actually think is, pretty alright. This cutscene focuses and takes place after the final fight with Kuze, which, let's be real, or in my opinion, I think we needed a cutscene after the final fight with Kuze, because in the original game, if I remember rightly, it kind of just ends. They don't really bring him up ever again. Considering how prevalent a threat he is in this game, he's got 5 fights, 2 themes, I feel like he should have gotten some sort of conclusion, and this is what this cutscene tries to do. I think it does it pretty decently as well. It's a big talk between Kuze and Kiryu about the Yakuza and Kazuma specifically. I think it's good to get some more insight on Kazuma, though a lot of it is kind of similar to what we've already heard before. But I like the idea that Kazuma kind of places bets on Kiryu, kind of not doing everything himself, but he's an honourable person, he says. This cutscene decent. It's a neat resolution to their little rivalry, etc. Like Kiryu and Kuze, I mean. And, you know, it's funny that he says that he wants to fight him again once he's out of prison. Who knows? Yakuza 9, Kuze in a wheelchair, Kiryu with cancer. They might have a big old blowout at 70 and 100. Is Kuze like 100 in current day? Yeah, the cutscene's just fine. I ain't got much to say about it. I think it's neat. Adds a little bit of conclusion between the two of them, and you know, Kiryu gets some respect for Kuze. Who can believe it? But yeah, decent cutscene. I haven't got too much to say about it. Right, so the next cutscene, once again, as I said earlier, there's 3 deaths that get retconned, and this is the 3rd one. That being the death of Bilken. Do you guys remember Bilken? I didn't remember who he was. I had to search it up again. Bilken was that police officer who was like super corrupt, helped Majima into the underground fighting ring, got him a meeting with Nishtani and all that palaver. Him living isn't, unlike the Toko credit guy who died off screen, you know, yeah, sure, he can come back, I suppose. It's not like Lee, where he exploded on screen, right? Bilken got shot in the stomach, I think. You know, flopped on the floor, and that was that. If he stayed dead, I don't think anyone would have batted an eye, but then bringing him back, sure. They do mention Nishtani, and I thought they were actually going to bring him back, and I was going to start crying, because that would be absurd, because Nishtani got shot like 7 times, right? Yeah, thankfully Bilken's being serious. He's gone. But they make a note to say that they're going to name the next member of the clan after Nishtani. And, you know, it's a little teaser of Nishtani III, who appears in Gaiden, and it was kind of a waste. I don't get what the point in him was. That's my 2 cents, though. This cutscene otherwise isn't particularly interesting. Bilken being alive to just dump about, ooh, Nishtani III, a little teaser for him. It's decent enough. I mean, again, it's another retcon for almost no reason. I mean, we know Nishtani III happens. It's neat to know that that Nishtani's Yakuza clan was going to name the successor after him, but again, it's just so 3 out of the 5 cutscenes just don't do anything for me at all. Yeah. Bilken, alive, Nishtani III. Moving forward, though, once again, next we have probably the best cutscene that was added, and one that I think actually has a benefit. There's a benefit to it, like a big one. Isn't that awesome? Anyways, I'll show you it now.
Well then, if I wanted the best steak in the city, where would I go?
Well, with that absolutely amazing editing out the way, let's talk about this cutscene. This is at the very end of the game, quite clearly. Kiryu's in his grey and red suit, you know, his iconic suit. And you know what? I think this cutscene's pretty great. It's just Kiryu and Nishiki driving around town, talking about everything that's happened, being bros. It's a bit corny, it's a bit cheesy, right? They acknowledge the Kuze everywhere joke. They acknowledge the joke of the quote-unquote plot hole of Nishiki being left up on the mountain. But you know what? I don't mind it. I think this cutscene is charming enough and fun enough that you can get away with acknowledging the corny stuff. It's just, I think this cutscene's really neat. It's nice to see them two just kind of being bros and chatting and being casual, because casual is not a thing that we see in Yakuza very often, right? The only other time I can see like Kiryu relaxing and the such is what, like the beginning of Frey with the orphanage and he's like fishing and stuff. Like that's where you see him kind of his quote-unquote natural habitat, where he's just kind of chilling, being normal. And this cutscene is neat because you can see the two of them be normal together, and it's fun. It's awesome. They're just kind of being bros. And it actually adds to both this game and Kiwami 1, because ignore me putting in the clip of him getting punched. Again, it adds to 0 and 1 because it not only, strengthens the bond between the two of them, but it then obviously makes the falling out between the two of them hurt that much more in 1. But yeah, I think this cutscene is really lovely. It's the best out of the lot by far. Not that its competition was very stiff. You had 2 pretty terrible cutscenes, that being Toko Credit and Lee. Obviously the Lee one is awful. You have 2 pretty okay cutscenes, that being Kuze and Bilken. And then you have this one, which I think is pretty good. Maybe even great. But that's all I have to say. So, the question is, should you get Zero's Direct? No, you shouldn't. Just go play Yakuza 0, the original, for 15 quid. You want to play Director's Cut right now? Until it comes out on other consoles, you gotta have to buy a Switch 2. Hell no! Don't buy a Switch 2, not right now. Ain't got no games. You want to play Mario Kart World? It's not even worth a price either. 450 quid. I mean, the Director's Cut's 50 quid. I'd say that's a nasty scam almost. Obviously, I haven't played the Red Light District game mode, but I doubt that's enough to service a 50 quid price tag. But yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed my rambles and my angry rant, and I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, etc. And yeah, go play Yakuza. Go play the Yakuza games. They're really, really good games. They got issues, and I don't like people saying that they don't, because they do have issues. Retconning deaths being a big one. But go play them, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.